If you don't feel the need to respond, this may not be the business for you. You act like it's a big mystery when you're not closing deals. Well, it's because you suck at your job. You suck at your job because you're not at work. Does anyone here have a friend that you'll text and they just straight up don't ever respond?
Yeah, it's annoying.
It's annoying as hell, right? Or the girlfriend's complaining about her boyfriend and all he ever does is thumbs up her text messages. Hey, how was your day? Thumbs up. Hey, thumb. So that would be an example. Those would be examples of poor communication, right? Where it's like, and remember, like, we built this entire team in the way that we sell around communication. All pending buyers and all active listings get an update. Good news, bad news, or no news. So they know that I'm thinking about them because they know that on Monday, I was making sure our shit was tight. If there was a big windstorm over the weekend, I drove by all of my listings to make sure the signs weren't blown in the yard. So communication is everywhere, and this will fix all aspects of your life. So in regards to that, so let's say that you're in a group text with somebody. I will text one of my clients, and I'll text a lender I told her I would connect him with and say, hey guys, Athena meet Donnie, Donnie meet Athena. Donnie's an awesome mortgage broker. There's no one better. He's been doing it as long as I've been doing real estate. He knows everything there is to know. He can do the basic products that all lenders can do. Plus, he knows all of the things to the left and to the right of your standard mortgage. So whatever you need, he is the guy. And if he can't do it, no one can. So, intro. Now, what do I expect Donnie to do since I'm giving Donnie a lead in a group text? What would you guys expect Donnie to do? Respond. Thank you. Hey, Adam, thank you so much. Athena, I'll hit you up on another line. That way we don't blow Adam's phone up, right? And then I know, and then Athena says, sounds great. So now I know that they are in communication, okay? Now, what if I send a lead to Larry Bear? Hey, Madeline, this is Larry. Larry's one of the best agents we have. He's got beautiful hair. He conditions. He knows his shit. If Larry can't do it, no one can do it. He's going to take really good care of you. I trust him wholeheartedly. And then Larry doesn't respond. Maybe he texts Madeline, but I don't know. Larry texts Madeline. And so I wake up at 2 a.m. and go, shit, did I just give him a deal and then he shit on it? What's going on here? And then I have to check in with Larry and check in with Madeline the next day because it's trust but verify. I'm hoping Larry did his job, but if Larry didn't respond to the text message, we got a problem. Is that fair to say? Because now I give Larry business and now I have to make sure he wiped his ass. I don't like that at all. Like, I got a 2-year-old, she's getting potty trained and it's like, yo, did you poop or pee? So I do that with my 2-year-old. I shouldn't have to do it with you guys. And you guys shouldn't have to do it with people you connect business with, okay? So if Madeline has a great handyman she wants to connect her friend with and she puts them on a group text, the expectation is the handyman says, hey, Madeline, thanks so much for the business. Hey, Teresa, I'll reach out to you in a different text thread. Or hey, what's a good time for us to chat? Does that make sense? There's an expectation that if you are given business or if you're put on a thread that you respond. You respond so the person that gave it to you knows that you got it, right? And then we make sure that the communication happens. This happens all the time, and it drives me nuts. It's like, guys, basic shit, right? Does that make sense? So respond to messages. Okay, now we're gonna get to emails. A lot of times, you'll get an email. This is every day. This is a problem. Every day. Okay, and this drives me nuts because we communicate and we operate at a high level and you guys are wearing my name on your shirts. I expect you to communicate the way I communicate. So an email comes in, right? Ava, our transaction coordinator, has a question on something. Hey, can I get the commission demand? Hey, what happened to addendum 4? Whatever it is. And I wait 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. The next day I wake up, I still have the email unread. You didn't respond. No one responded. What's going on? Or maybe you did, but you didn't hit reply all just to make sure that I don't know whether or not you're working. So again, with emails, you hit reply all. I will email a client with the home inspector's email right there, right? I use Tyler Sparks a lot. Hey, Mr. Buyer, here's Tyler Sparks' contact information. He CC'd on it. Got it. Thanks, Adam. He responds. But if I send it out and the client doesn't respond, and Tyler doesn't respond, guess what I get to do? I get to see if they wipe their asses the next day. Instead of them doing what they should do, hey, got it, thanks, yeah, we're gonna get connected on that. Hey, did you guys get the email? Why isn't anyone responding? Actually, I didn't get the email. It ended up in my spam where I accidentally marked it as read, right? Because no one responded. Now I'm trying to give a home inspector business and I'm trying to connect my buyer. No one responds to me, so I don't know if anything happened. And then the same thing happens with our transactions. You have to hit reply all. First off, you have to reply. Does that make sense? Got it. Acknowledge communication. If you worked at a restaurant and you said, hey, order in, and then the cook says, order received, right? To make sure the little piece of paper didn't flutter to the ground, get covered in grease, and then you've got angry customers outside. Same thing here. Like everywhere you go, you must communicate. So you need to respond. Order out, order received, order up, right? So when the cook's done cooking it, to make sure the food doesn't get cold, they let the server know, or the expo, whatever it is, that the food is ready. Could you imagine if they didn't communicate like half of us do with text and email? Order in. I made the food. What the fuck? Well, I didn't know you got the order and you never told me the food wasn't made. So now we did all the work, but we didn't communicate. So now the food was late and the food came cold. No one gets tipped and the customer doesn't come back. And all it was, the only difference was a lack of communication. So please, for the love of God, you people on the internet and you people in this room, respond. Something that's necessary for success in real estate is called a high sense of urgency. If you don't feel the need to respond, this may not be the business for you. If you think you can wait till tomorrow, it can't. It really can't. Clients are impatient, and once we finally got a buyer into the hot status, that's why we want you to talk to your hots no less than once a week. They don't need you to buy a house, guys. They fucking do not. They don't need me to sell their house, and they don't need Jenna to buy one. If we're not part of the helpful process, if they don't see us as a path to their success, we get bulldozed. And not being responsive and not being helpful and having a bad attitude or being slow gets you removed from the equation, right? The seller wants their shit sold. And if they don't think you can do it, you're gone. The buyer wants to buy the house. They're not worried about the real estate agent. They really aren't. They're like, bro, do I see Adam as a conduit for me to get what I want faster for a better deal? If yes, then they work with me. If no, then they don't. That simple. It doesn't matter if you signed a buyer broker with them. It doesn't matter if you signed a listing agreement with them. If they perceive you to be in their way, they will run you over. Business would be amazing if we didn't have clients. We also wouldn't have a business, right? So the people that are annoying you, that are texting you Zillow screenshots at 9 o'clock at night, are the reason you have a job. Now, you don't have to respond at 9 o'clock at night. They don't expect you to, but I expect you to leave as unread and after 7 a.m., respond appropriately. Is that fair? Could you do that? Like, I turn my phone off from 6 to 8 typically, so I can spend some time with my kids. No one's dying, and if they are dying, they can call 911. But these guys know if they text me at 8 o'clock at night that I'm gonna get back to them in the morning. Is that fair? But if I start texting back at 10, they're kind of, I don't know, this is kind of weird. Why is this guy responding? Like, does he not have any boundaries? So we can have boundaries, but when we're working, we need to be working, which leads to you need to be in the office, okay? You're not responding, and you're not following up, and you're not following through because you come here in the morning, and then you leave, and you're out of the office for the rest of the day, from 10 to 6, doing God knows what, and then what happens? All this stuff happens that you're not responding to. You feel overwhelmed, and you respond to none of it, and then you make no money. There's a reason that I'm in the office until 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, because there's a lot to do if you're doing your job well. If you're generating leads, and then you're following up, and then you're following through, and then you're responding and you're running transactions, it's a lot of work to make sure that every client is dealt with appropriately and they're taken care of and they feel taken care of. So when you guys aren't in the office, and you're supposedly selling houses, it is concerning because I know what's not happening in communication at a level that I expect and a communication level that your customers expect is not occurring. And then you act like it's a big mystery when you're not closing deals. Well, it's because you suck at your job. You suck at your job because you're not at work. Like, you got to be at work, right? When you got Netflix up and a bag of popcorn next to you and your laptop up, that is not working. Your success will have very little with what you do and everything to do with how you do it. Your success will have very little with what you do and everything to do with how you do it. Do not fall in love with your product, fall in love with your customer and their outcome. So this is, anyone read the Sales Success book? Talks about relationship selling. Like when I go on consults, so you'll have your packets, right? You go meet a client. I don't use that shit because I'm creating connection. I'm working with these people, right? I am more concerned with their outcomes. Hey, what do you want? Hey, we want to sell our house. Okay, why? Does it matter why they want to sell their home? Do they want to sell it fast? Do they want to sell it for the most money? Or what would be another way they want to sell it? Maybe they can't close until June because that's when school gets out, right? So in order for me to price their home and to market it effectively, I want to know what their outcome is. And if all I'm concerned with is getting the highest commission and getting them to ink the deal that day, do you think they can tell whether or not I'm worried about selling them or if I'm worried about their outcome? Big, big difference, right? And that goes back to it's how you do it. Okay, and in the beginning, you guys have to use the papers because these are your first reps. But it always, always, always is to your benefit when you just push all the shit aside, the fancy flyers we have and all of our marketing and say, hey, what's going on here, right? Deal with a lot of divorces. Hey, we're getting divorced. The kids are tore up. We need to have the house on the market, but we can't really sell. Okay, cool. We can throw up in withdrawn status, until this particular day. Or man, we're riddled with debt and we can't make our next mortgage payment. What do we do? Right? Like the connection. I'm never worried about getting a paycheck from these people. I know that if I do the right things, the money will follow. How does it work like on a daily basis? All right, we got some guys that are in school studying. You guys take notes when you're studying for the real estate stuff? Well, the purpose is, right, we get flooded with information on a daily basis. And I don't remember what the stats are, but it's like you lose 80% of what you learn within 6 weeks. Does that sound right? That ring a bell with anybody? It's staggering. It's hard to remember everything. So every day I write down what I learned that day. Either reading books, listening to books, and then the implementation of, right? So you write it down. So I would invite you guys and take a picture of this or write it down. Your success will have very little with what you do and everything to do and how you do it, right? And then read it again tonight and then read it again tomorrow and start to, if I'm just talking, but we're not taking notes, we're not using any of this to update our business, then it's just a waste of everybody's time, right? So like when I was in college, the way I learned is I went to every class and I took copious notes. So I just wrote whatever I needed to remember, whatever I learned, stuff like this. Sometimes I say, hey, could you say that again? Because I missed part of it. So I'm like, I'm like reading it and I can't write it. And then I write it, can't read it. And I pause my audiobooks all the time. So go to class. So good job for showing up. And then take notes. And then when class was over, I would read my notes, right? So you learn it, you're listening and you're writing, that helps learn. And then you read what you wrote. So that's visual, writing, and then reading. So you get it 3 different ways. And then before the next class, I would read the notes from the prior class. I had almost straight A's through college and I never went to the library, I never studied. That's all I did. But most of the guys, right, they showed up to every other class, they didn't take notes, they'd have some beers before and wouldn't remember jack shit what was happening. And then they would have to spend hours in the library relearning everything the teacher taught them or the professor taught them because they weren't paying attention in class. And it's like, what are you doing? So they made it way harder on themselves. All right, so you're drinking before class to make sure you don't remember shit. You're not taking notes to remember, make sure you don't remember shit. You don't show up to all the classes, so you don't even know what was said. And then you're cramming right before the test and you eat shit on the test because you weren't doing just the basic stuff, right? So show up, take notes, and then actually read your notes, and then it'll stick, right? Like especially the communication stuff. Hopefully that sticks because it has enough relevance in everything that you do. Like, man. Actually, I have some friends that I just stopped inviting to things. Like I'll sponsor a golf tournament and we'll have to have a foursome, right? So I text all 3 guys and 2 of them don't respond. And I'm like, hey, are you coming? Because I need to know by Tuesday for the Friday event, are you going to be there or not? Yeah, oh yeah, sorry, yeah, I'll be there. And then they don't show up, right? Text the day up, oh yeah, sorry bro, something came up. And then I look like a jack because I spent $1,000 on a golf team to sponsor this charity event and then we don't have any golfers. Or same thing, I'm on the board of directors for the Builders Association. So we have a poker tournament. So I'll sponsor a poker tournament. Let's say I get 10 tickets, $100 tickets, right? So then say, hey, Larry wants to go, everyone wants to go. And then half of them no show, right? Text the group, half of them don't respond. So those people, I just stopped inviting to anything because they're unreliable. And all they need to do is like, if you don't want to go, I don't give a shit. Just say, I can't go. I don't want to go. Whatever. But for the love of God, respond. So if you're not responding, then pretty soon you're not going to get invited to stuff. And then it will be no wonder. And it sucks. You're like, oh, dude, why don't you buy me the poker tournament? It's like, bro, you no-showed on me 3 years in a row. And those were other people that could have played, that wanted to play, but I invited you and you didn't. You ever heard of the term commission breath? Commission breath is awful, and you get that when you don't follow up and you don't follow through. Or the desperation, right? When you're just so worried about getting the buyer to sign the buyer broker agreement or getting the buyer to buy the house. I sent some of my good friends to one of the agents that used to work on our team. And they're like, God, we can't work with this guy anymore, man. Like, every house we look at, he says, oh, it's a great deal, you should buy it. And it was very obvious. And they knew him previously. Like, they knew of him, you know, I think went to the same school at some point. And like, bro, this guy sucks. Like, all he wants to do is get us to buy every house that we look at. He doesn't care about what we want. He doesn't care about what we need. He doesn't care about the price. Every fucking house. So I end up having to take it back, let the guy go, and sold them the right home instead of every home. It was like, dude, like we looked at, there was one on the corner of something Rose in Cedar Lake, and it's a total pile of shit. Like, this place sucks in every way. It's all chopped up, terrible remodel, overpriced. He's like, buy it. Yep, you should buy it. I think it had a big covered deck and it leaked into the living room. There's like stains all over the ceiling. Buy it. Buy it. So make sure, again, if you understand what your client wants and needs, you fall in love with their outcome, then you'll get paid. But when you're just obsessed with the paycheck, people know. Like my guys knew instantly, like, hey, Adam, we know you're super busy and you sent us to one of your guys to help us out, but we can't stand him. Because all he wants to do is just buy it. Like I said, hey man, you know, honestly, I think they want too much for that. Or hey, I noticed some things. I think there's an active roof leak here that they're hiding. Resale, luckily, like I've got a place listed right now that I didn't sell the client. Thank God. So I was like, bro, don't call me when you want to sell this place. Like, this was a bad decision. And guess what? They call me when they want to list it. But at least I didn't say, hey, it's a great deal. It's like, dude, this has everything going against it you could possibly imagine. Someone should have the desire to sell more homes than everybody else. Does anyone have that desire? Because it shows up when you're at work all day, responding to your emails, hitting reply all when you respond to your emails, texting people back, following up, following through, making more dials, right? It should be, this is actually how it works. You make contacts, and those contacts lead to a decent conversation because we're more worried about how we do it than what we do. right? We're connecting with these people emotionally, and then probably looking for homes for them, probably doing valuations, at which point we have to follow up and follow through. Like I've got some, Colin and I went on the appointment. They have very specific needs. It needs to be wheelchair accessible, which is tough to do. If you start looking at the houses, very few of them can you just roll a wheelchair in, right? There's, boom, there's a step. Well, now you're stuck. I'm following up with them, letting them know I'm working on it. Now they have questions, and I've been sending them home. So now I'm out driving to these houses to take pictures and videos of them, because I can't guarantee it's going to be wheelchair friendly until I go see it. So I'm still trying to do the valuation. They got questions, and in order to answer the questions, I have to leave the office, take pictures, come back, upload them, and then email them like a Google Drive link or something, right? And then I finally get one evaluation done. I let them know they're cool with it. Now they got more lending questions, so I got to remember to connect them with a lender and make sure that that's going smooth. So when you're in it, it takes all day. Like if you're really doing it, right? Because I did some prospecting and I made some contacts and I had set the appointments, and then I had to follow through with making sure they had my contact information, that they were getting properties that I was handpicking for them, and then I got them the valuations, and now it's more questions and more showings and more questions and more showings, and then eventually, hopefully there will be a sale. But do they feel like I need them to buy something for me to make my mortgage? No. So I'm making sure I'm in love with their outcome, and they're in love with how I do it. I have a measuring tape in my truck. Did they need a measuring tape last night? Yes. They need a floor plan of the house. So I downloaded QB Casa, which I told all of you to do. So you guys need to have basic tools in your toolbox in order to service your clients. Hey, Adam, is there any way we can get a floor plan? Yes. I think it took me maybe 4 minutes. You walk around, you scan the walls, and then 12 hours later, 15 hours later, you have a floor plan. So I have the floor plan they requested last night in my inbox. Making sure you guys are in touch with them. You had questions about, do I pay cash? Do I get a loan? But we need the floor plan to show the wife who's in a wheelchair to see if it's even possible for her. A lot of things have to happen for the client to get taken care of. If you are a real estate agent and you are a professional and you are a specialist in the field of real estate, is it expected that you would have some real estate specific things that other people wouldn't have? And that would help you stand out.